What's good, good people? Welcome back again to another presentation of Yosef's Two Cents. I'm your man, Yosef Isaiah Benjamin. And on this particular presentation of Yosef's Two Cents, we will begin a 5 or 6 part series on the decline of marriages and relationships. This is something that I've been wanting to discuss for a little while, and I figured that this is the most opportune time to share with you my thoughts and my sentiments. And we are multi-streaming today on both Facebook and YouTube. So y'all come on in, let us unwind, relax, let's sit down and let us reason together. On the Facebook side, we have with us today Brother Joel. Peace, power, and blessings to you as well, my brother. Thanks for joining us. Sister Candace, what's going on with you? Peace, power, and blessings be upon you as well. Thank you for joining us as well. Let's see. Y'all come on in and let's sit down and let's chop it up. It's a beautiful day here in Brooklyn, 79 degrees. No, I'm sorry, it's 81 degrees currently here in Brooklyn. It was raining a little bit earlier, but since then, it is now nice and sunny and bright outside. I'm going to wait a few more minutes for a few of the brothers and sisters to come on in. I'm always delighted to come on the air and chop it up with you guys. It is because of you I enjoy doing what I enjoy doing. Who else has just joined us? Brother Barron, what's going on, sir? Good evening to you. Peace, power, and blessings be upon you as well. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and get started. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for coming on and making Yosef's Two Cents a part of your Saturday evening. Like I said, folks, this is a topic that I really have been wanting to sink my teeth into for quite a while. It is a subject matter that needs to really be discussed because from my lens, I really don't see the deep divide between man and woman really improving at all. I just don't see it. It's unfortunate, but it is something that we do. We really do have to. We have to talk about. Let's see who else has just joined us here. I'm trying to get this situated here. Let me check this side. Let's see. There she is, the lovely Miss Marla. Good evening to you too, sweetheart. Peace, power, and blessings be upon you as well. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Just making sure that everything is working uh, properly before I commence on my commentary on this evening. The decline of marriages and relationships, part one. As I've said before, this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while. And I just got a message from brother J. Cole. Thanks for joining us tonight. He says he's watching the podcast right now, but Facebook has shut down, has suspended. It suspended his account for talking about polygamy. So he cannot comment on anything. Man, that really bites, man. That really, really bites. But thank you for listening, bro. And I'm gonna eventually also, if I can. As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna even open up the hotline. I'm gonna open up something different a little bit later on. But thanks for your support, man, and I do appreciate it. There's a few more of y'all coming on in here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm not gonna hold you too long, but we need to get some things addressed because it is imperative that we get it addressed. The decline of marriages and relationships. And this is the first part of maybe a 5 or 6 part presentation that I want to share with you. The reason why I wanted to share this with you folks is because it is a subject I personally believe that continues to be swept under the rug. It is a subject matter that people continues to ignore and evade. But in order for us to at least attempt to improve the deteriorating relationship, the deep divide, I call it, between man and woman in contemporary society, we must sit down like adults and address the issues that continues to plague us for a long, long time. Everybody is talking about marriage. Now, marriage is an honorable institution. And I believe that there are still a lot of men and a lot of women who still believes in the institution of marriage. However, although they still believe in the relationship or the institution of marriage, they do not believe in the man or the women in contemporary society. I mean, if you think about it, children born out of wedlock continues to skyrocket through the roof. STIs, STDs, alternative lifestyles is popular more than ever. I mean, there are a plethora, a myriad of reasons as to why there is a deep divide, a deteriorating relationship between man and woman. As a matter of fact, I want to pull up uh, one or two passages of scripture when it comes down to um, marriages. I want to pull it up very briefly, and then I'm going to get into much further. Uh, the Bible says that the marriage bed is blessed. The marriage bed is blessed. As long as no other outsiders interfere in that marriage and that relationship, especially if the Most High Himself placed that man and placed that woman in the lives of others, then the marriage bed is blessed. There's no STIs, there's no STDs. One is faithful to the other. But it would be absolutely foolish for all of us to ignore, you understand, to simply ignore the blatant red flags, the crimson flags that confronts all of us. And I have to ask the question, ladies and gentlemen, collectively, as well as individually, are we really marriage material? On the YouTube side, Brother Dub, what's going on, bro? Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you, man. On the YouTube side, Brother Dub says, speak on it, bro. I got to, man. I got to. And I have to ask the question again. Are we really marriage material? Because there are those, men and women alike, who looks like they are marriage material. They look like it. They have that look. They have the appearance. But instead of them having the heart and the mind to be a husband or wife, they are not actually marriage material. They are actually mattress material, because they still engage in promiscuity. They're extremely sexually promiscuous. The politically correct terminology for all of this is sexual liberation, and that was introduced by the feminist community. Oh, don't get quiet now. Y'all been talking for these last few podcasts that I have been presenting. Why y'all quiet now? Why y'all quiet? The comment thread has been very, very lively. Why y'all quiet now? Why you quiet? I mean, for almost 300 episodes of my podcast, for the most part, it's been a lively comment thread. Why y'all quiet? Am I stepping on your toes? Am I hitting some nerves? Well, listen. If you are always talking about marriage, and yet you are not married yet, there's a reason for it. See, people enjoy talking a good game, and they enjoy, dressing for the occasion. But when it comes down to meeting the requirements to be a husband and or a wife, crickets. Y'all quiet. You it's so quiet you can actually hear, as my teacher, Mrs. Dorothy Harvey, would always say, it's so quiet in here you can hear a gnat tap dancing on a cotton ball. It's quiet in here. It's quiet in here. Why y'all quiet? Huh? Why y'all quiet? Huh? Why y'all quiet? Who else has just joined us here? Brother Mike, what's going on the Facebook side? Thank you for joining us, sir. And I concur with you. He says there is power in a healthy marriage. Absolutely. 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 And because the silence of a relatively and a normally lively crowd will now bring me into what I want to really delve into. And this part of my commentary, I'm going to be assisted by an article that I recently discovered as I was scrolling down my timeline. And I'll give y'all the link when I get finished. It's on redstate.com. It's on redstate.com. And this article is by a gentleman by the name of Mr. Brandon Morse. By Mr. Brandon Morse. And the title of this article is Women Want to Know Why Men Don't Want to Marry Anymore. Women want to know why men don't want to marry anymore. Allow me. Excuse me. This article starts off by saying, I feel like I can't get on TikTok without seeing at least 2 or 3 videos of women outwardly wondering why men seem to be resistant to the idea of marriage. They question why men seem to be pulling away and not engaging with them on a deeper level. At least not the kind experienced by their parents, especially not their grandparents. It's clear that these young women yearn for that kind of stability. And it's clear that men are increasingly less willing to provide it. Indeed, the numbers check out. Marriage is definitely on the decline. But before women start asking where all the good men have gone, perhaps they should look at themselves first. And allow me to pause right there when I say you should look at yourselves first, ladies. Now, the next observations, if it does not apply, let it fly. But if I strike a nerve, guess what? If I strike a nerve and you get triggered, if the high heel pump fits, if those red pumps fit, then you need to wear it. Brother Jason Cole shot me a message. He says, women want a 1950s marriage without being a 1950s wife. Where's the lie told? Where's the lie told? Yeah. Where's the lie? Yeah. See? Now, let's continue on because there's a lot to this. He says, I know women aren't typically used to hearing that it's their fault. To be sure, you don't shoulder all of the blame. But in this case, you certainly bear a lot of it. Now, not long ago, this young man, Mr. Brandon Morse, wrote about how men are getting tired of the hypersexualized woman, where he echoed the sentiments of many a man and women too, because there have been some women that are calling out other women for their shenanigans. Allow me to quote Mr. Morse when he said, quote, society doesn't encourage women to be good partners. They're encouraged to be consumers of what their partner produces. Sadly, these same women are being encouraged to go out and get high paying positions and are very likely to succeed thanks to the current culture, and very often make more money than their male partners. Yet still, the male is still expected to make more money for the family. It doesn't just stop at the societal level either. Even in modern families, men are taught how to treat a woman, provide for her, and work hard to keep her happy. Women aren't taught how to treat a man or how to make him happy. They're strictly taught what to expect from a man. This, combined with modern feminist philosophy that encourages women to do away with traditional ideas, has produced an entire swath of useless women who value shallow sexuality over family or familiar contribution and homemaking skills. They enter into marriages where they contribute very little and expect quite a lot, and these marriages eventually end. End quote. Now, please understand that if you really desire to get married, you have to ask yourself the question, am I really marriage material? Because truth be told, a lot of women and men, but since it's the majority of women who want to be married, I'm going to say women. You have to face reality and face facts. A lot of y'all ain't got it. You are not cut out to be wifey material. You're not cut out to be a wife. You're not marriage material. You have been mattress material. Brother Dub on the YouTube side says, the truth can hurt sometimes. It sure can, brother. No doubt about it. It can hurt sometimes. It sure can. And it does. It does hurt. Let's see. Brother Barron on the YouTube, on the Facebook side says, quote, men and women should get to know one another completely before deciding to get married. Important issues such as religion, finances, career, and whether or not to have children should be discussed so that the couple can learn each other. Well said, brother. Well said. Well said. Well said. And see, here's the thing. Everything that Brother Barron just said, it takes a certain kind of intelligence between the man and that woman to even go in that direction. It's the truth. It's the truth. And whether you like it or not, if you really want a relationship, a healthy one, a healthy marriage, a strong marriage, this is what it is going to take. And allow me to also say from experience, it takes discipline. It takes a tremendous amount of discipline and focus to remain faithful to that man or that woman, because temptation can be hell. Make no mistake about it, folks. I know I was married before. I was married before. I was with my wife 6 years. We were married 4 before she passed away. And believe me, it was not an easy thing for me during that marriage. It wasn't. And the reason why it was not easy for me was because, number one, this was my first marriage. So I had to learn from trial and error. It's the truth. That's first thing. Then the second thing is my wife had some very severe health problems. You understand? And because she had some very severe health problems, that just added on to the temptation being that much stronger. And believe me, there were a lot of beautiful women around me at that time. And before I left Christianity, years before I left Christianity and became a Jew, because I was a Christian minister. I've let that be known. I was a Christian minister. As a matter of fact, I'm still licensed and an ordained Baptist minister. If I wanted to, I could be practicing the Christian ministry right now. I choose not to, but that's for another subject, another time. See? Dubtree on the YouTube side says, quote, modern day women are not taught to be accountable for their discretions or negative actions. As a late black male, 39 years of age, I can admit, listen, brother, you have just echoed many a man's sentiments. See? And and I know you're not alone, bro. I know you're not alone. There are plenty of men that feels the exact same way, bro. Well said. Well said. Now let me continue on reading this article. The sad truth is that many young women nowadays don't know how to be in a marriage. Brother Dub on the YouTube side just alluded to that a few seconds ago. As I said above, they're not, there's that word again, taught. They're not taught how to treat a man, but what to expect from him. Meanwhile, they're flat out dissuaded from providing anything but their presence to the partnership. They believe that offering their love to the man is sufficient, and that man should just be grateful to have them. The idea that women suddenly make a man happier by their presence is a storybook sentiment. Absolutely narcissistic and delusional. Still, more emphasis is put on being fierce. And you know how you sisters talk. Yes, slay queen. You're a goddess and you deserve to be treated like one kind of a world. That's the kind of world that we're living. Y'all know how y'all talk. You know exactly. Don't get quiet now. Don't get quiet now. That's exactly how y'all be talking. Yeah. Don't get quiet now. I appreciate it, brother Dub. He says, I'm very sorry for your loss, brother. Listen, man, I appreciate it, man. Brother Dub on the YouTube side continues. Many of us brothers are taught to value our sexuality over substance. Well said, man. Absolutely. Well said. No lies are told. Now look, here's the thing. Let me say this before I continue on. Am I advocating that a man should abuse his wife? No, I am not advocating that at all. Not one time have I said that a man should abuse his wife. No. But what I am saying is this contemporary cliche of happy wife, happy life, pardon the French, but that's bullshit. Because no marriage and no relationship should be one-sided. That's the issue. And a lot of women, once again, you are not marriage material, not just because of your sexual promiscuity, it's because of your psychological apparatus. The way your mindset is set up. The man should be doing everything and you don't contribute nothing. No. And more men will continue to walk the hell away from you. This is truth. No man in his right mind wants to be putting up with a narcissistic woman. Not happening. And you can get mad and you can cry and you can throw all kinds of fits if you want to. It don't change nothing. And until you unlearn what you have learned from this toxic and erroneous philosophy of the feminist philosophy, you will remain chronically single. You're going to remain single. You will never be a wife. You just might be a placeholder. Wait a minute, yo. So what's a placeholder? A trophy. A piece of apparatus just for show. Of no substance, no value. You're just there to make the other person look good. See? That's what's happening. And before I continue on, let me throw this out here too. I know for a fact that the scripture says that it's not good for a man to be left alone. True. But it is equally as important to recognize the fact that you must be a virtuous woman. in the book of Proverbs. Everybody wants to talk about Proverbs chapter 31 being a virtuous woman. And people have been saying before that they're this and they're that, this, that, and the third. But the reality is, a lot of people that are saying that I deserve to be this and I deserve to be that, you don't deserve a damn thing. You deserve to be right where you are. See? Because here's my thing. And I know y'all gonna get mad, and that's cool. But the thing is, happy wife, happy life, that's bullshit. If that man is unhappy, right? If that man is unhappy, but yet the woman is always happy and she's not catering to her husband's needs, then that is bullshit. And you're not going to get me to say and think otherwise. This is not a one-sided thing. That's the problem. Everybody's out for self. You want to know why those marriages are always or were lasting 50, 60, 70 years? Because the wife knew how to be a wife and the husband knew how to be a husband. And they did not place any kind of unrealistic expectations on each other. See? Now, am I saying that every marriage is like, a marriage like contemporary to America? No. I'm speaking on the majority of how marriages are today. Not all of them, but the majority. Marriages today are not built on the foundation of love and respect. It is only built on a large piece of a beam called lust. And that's the truth. See? And please hear me and hear me good. I know that there's a lot of no good dudes and a lot of good no good dudes and no good women out here. I get it. I get it. But I'm talking about if a good man gets caught up, right? Let me sit up. If a no good man, if a no good woman, pardon me, gets hooked up with a hardworking man, a God-fearing man, a God-loving, God-respecting man. I'm talking about the toxic woman that only sees that man as a resource and not as a human, not as a man. Then, and only then, will the problems rise. See? Now, let me read your comments right quick. Okay, well, I read that one by Brother Dub. Let me check out the Facebook side. Smaller says, entering into marriage for the wrong reason usually leads to divorce. Well said. Sometimes an individual will say that he or she married for money. He or she may claim to have married for love. Many times, lust is mistaken for love. Consequently, when the passion ends, so does the marriage. Well said. Well said. Look, those are the words of a woman who knows what it takes to be a wife. I should know. I wouldn't be with her if I didn't see that in her. I would not be trying to build something if that was not the case. See? And see, here's the thing. Men have been trying to get women to understand you got to stop being so damn selfish and stop being so narcissistic and stop being so self-absorbed. And then guess what? By the time that woman does come to her senses, the man would have moved on and she wants that man to give her another chance. But the man says, hell no, no. I gave you chance after chance after chance after chance. You never saw me as a human being. You never saw me as a man. You only saw me as a tool. I don't want to have nothing else to do with you. And then a man may also say the only reason why you want to get back with me is because you want me to be your plan B. You found out the hard way that the grass was not greener on the other side. See, when a man senses that a woman realizes she's done wrong, but she's not really genuinely sincere, that man will walk away and will continue to get caught up in unnecessary nonsense. Look, men don't want to be bothered. See? That's the truth. All right, let me read some of your observations. Ms. Marla says, I deserve to be treated as the queen. I agree. And if I didn't agree, believe me, my dear, we wouldn't be building. Let's see. Sister Candace says, no, it ain't. If your wife isn't happy, then that means he ain't either. You're one flesh. Some of these men are in the world and got the devil in them, and then come into the truth still with these devils and get in the prayer line so pastor can put the oil on them, and they're just greasy demons. I'm not disputing that. As I've said before, I know that there's a lot of no good dudes out here. But from my observations, and I'm not, dismissing or discrediting your observations, Sister Candace, because like I said, there's a lot of dudes out here like that. You're right. But when it comes down to wanting marriage in contemporary society today, in the 21st century, women are being more vocal about marriage than the men are. Whereas men are less likely to get married. They don't want to be bothered. Let's see. Brother Mike on the Facebook side says, quote, some women think they are doing me a favor by just talking to me. See, that's the kind of nonsense I'm talking about right there. You haven't added any value to my life. Anybody can talk, look nice, but where is the real friendship? Brother, brother Mike, let me say this. If the majority of these women in contemporary society right now are not marriage material, you cannot afford to think that they're going to be your friend, bro. Big bro. Can't. It is not in them. Because once again, from a societal basis, society has taught them that it's all about them being narcissistic. It's all about self. Never mind the man. It's one-sided. And that's what a lot of these women don't get. That's what a lot of these women don't understand. See? J. Cole says, by way of my inbox, the problem with some men is they get with women because she has a fat ass and she's pretty. But what is her mindset? What is her philosophy in life? You married the wrong woman and she can mess your life up. Men need to get to know a woman and practice dick discipline. Quote, end quote. He's not lying. And then let me throw this out here too. Truth is, in contemporary society, women are the more social butterflies. Men are not. You'll be surprised to know just how many men are still virgins. And I am not trying to be petty. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be facetious. But it is what it is. Brother Joel says, teach and proceed, please. I'm doing the best I can, brother. I'm doing the very best I can. Brother Mike says, you are telling the truth. Appreciate that, brother. Miss Marla says, so true, Jay. She concurs with Brother Jay. Let me read what Brother Barron has to say. Says, quote, marriage is universal in the sense that no matter where you go in the world, there is marriage. Well said. The meaning of marriage might be different, but it still exists everywhere. Marriage would be so much healthier and happier with a marriage contract signed and agreed between both parties. Many people commonly have a misconception of what a marriage contract really is. This type of contract involves a written document to people, their respective rights and obligations in regards to. See, Brother Barron, you see, once again, Brother Barron, Lady Marla, Sister Candace, Brother Jay, Brother Mike, on the YouTube side, Brother Dub, and everybody that's on this platform, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, all of you are speaking with intelligence, and you are also sharing with us from your lens about your experience, from what you've seen, what you've heard, etc., what you read. Right? And I respect all of that. And all of you are correct. But this is where I want all of you that's listening to me to understand. Everybody does not have your intelligence. Listen to me carefully. Brother Dub on the YouTube side. On the Facebook side, Lady Marla, Brother Barron, J. Cole, Brother Mike, Joel, and whoever else is listening. Everybody does not have your intelligence. Everybody does not. I repeat, they do not have your intelligence. You're speaking from what you would do and probably what y'all have done. Everything that you have said today, folks, you absolutely are correct. Let me see. Let me get to Brother Dub on the YouTube side. Question, Brother Joseph, can you also speak on the impact of the financial downpour and pandemic effects on dating, marriage, as it pertains to thinking practically over superficially? Sure, brother. I'm going to get into that in a few moments. I sure will. This pandemic, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna touch on that now, and then I'm going to get back to this article. But let me answer Brother Dub's question on the YouTube side. Brother Dub and the rest of the brothers and sisters on the Facebook side, we all know full well that this whole pandemic has taken its toll on all of us, personally and professionally. On a more personal basis, however, this pandemic has destroyed marriages, or rather, it has exposed the falsehood or the false foundations of these supposed marriages for well over a year and change, right? That is all we have been hearing. Divorces, 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 divorces. Why? One, the foundation was built on lust, not love. Two, as Brother Barron and I believe Lady Marla alluded to earlier, they didn't get to know one another. As I've said in the past, you got to study your mate. Sisters, if you really want to be a wife, and brother, if you really want to be a husband, y'all got to study each other. You understand? Study each other's likes, dislikes, quirks, what makes them laugh, what makes them cry, what irritates them, what annoys them, what concerns them, what arouses them, this, that, and the whole shebang. And then you're not going to know your mate in one day's time. It's going to take time, it's going to take discipline, and it's going to take focus. That's first thing. Then the second thing is, as Brother Dub alluded to a few seconds ago in his question, I like those terms that he used, the financial downpour. I like that. The financial downpour. Look, when a man and a woman gets together, right? I guarantee you, right? I guarantee you that more often than not, either that man or that woman's credit is both shot to hell. See, if you want it done right, you got to do it properly. Who else has just joined us? Little Angel, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for the reaction. Listen, if you really want to be building something with your relationship, finance is a part of it. You don't want to experience a financial downpour because you owe so much in debt. I'm of the mindset that there is no way in the world that I'm going to be entering a relationship and my credit is all jacked up. I refuse. But that's me, because I recognize the value and importance of having a perfect credit score. Because the better your credit is, the more opportunities you'll have to get that dream home. The better opportunity you'll have to get that dream car. But once again, that takes discipline. That takes focus. See? And I respect any man or any woman that uses the word we. And see, let's see. On let's see, hold on, wait a minute here. All the ladies that's listening to me. I know Miss Marla's listening. I know Sister Candace is listening. Any other ladies that's listening to me? Brother Dub, you are on the money, man. Brother Dub on the YouTube side, he says mental health as well. And I alluded to that a little bit early on about how people think. Nadia, what's going on? Anybody else? All right, look, ladies that's listening to me, hear me good. I'm talking about the women that got intelligence. I ain't talking about these fly-by-nights. Let me tell y'all something. And hear me good. And I'm going to get back to this article. Let me say this. Man, my mind is going a million miles an hour. Hold on. Let me collect my thoughts. Ladies that knows how to be good wives, and you believe in the institution of marriages, and you have the heart to be a wife and you have the heart to be a mother, hear me good. Do y'all know why y'all are called pick-me's? Y'all know why y'all are called pick-me's, right? I'm going to tell y'all why y'all are called pick-me's. The reason why y'all are called pick-me's is because other women are jealous of you. Not just because of your external beauty, but the reason why they're jealous of you and they call you pick-me's is because they see in you what they don't see in themselves. The real pick-me's are those who do not exemplify or quantify or they don't see themselves as being the superlative degree, exhibiting femininity and being a wife, etc. So they see you what they don't see in themselves and what they themselves desire to be. You understand? You are the real women who exhibits Proverbs chapter 31. aside from your external beauty, your shapes, your figures, your forms, the way you walk, switch, your hips sway in the wind, you all have curves. Hear me good. Y'all have curves. Whereas the rest of them, they're just a hot air balloon on two legs. Look, I ain't trying to be petty, but they have curves. You all have curves. They have a curve. You all have plural curves, plural. They have a curve, singular, one. See? But let me delve back into Brother Dove's question when it comes down to this the financial downpour of this. People who were living from check to check, or they were relying on a small business, it has absolutely decimated them financially. You know, and because it has absolutely decimated them financially, one of the reasons why is because they did not save up for a rainy day. They only planned for, that, here and now. They didn't plan for the future. They didn't plan for long term. They didn't have a long term financial plan. And because they did not have a financial plan long term, that's also one of the reasons why they found themselves in the situation financially, of course, that they're in. That's first thing. Then the second thing is, if they did plan, financially long term for a rainy day, it only aided and assisted them for a short time. And since it did not, it didn't pan out for them long term, then unfortunately they find themselves in that situation where they were living out on the street, going from hotel to hotel, homeless shelter to homeless shelter. As a matter of fact, Brother Dub, here in New York, bruh, peep this. The homeless community in New York right here, bruh, the other day, it shot up another 8,000 people, man. Real talk. And I'm not exaggerating, folks. Just the other day, it was reported that there were more homeless people, 8,000 on the rise. And peep this, the homeless community here in New York is not consistent. It's not consistent of older folk. They are consistent of folks that are my age and younger. I say again, it is consistent of younger, of people my age and younger. And that's what's going on. So in terms of finance, absolutely, yes. It is no joke out here, folks. It's not. Now, there's a few more things that I want to read in this article. And then I'm going to read some more of your observations. And if y'all want to, I'm gonna set it up where if y'all want to call in, I'm gonna set it up where y'all can call in. Let's see. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and read the rest of this article, and I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up in a few moments. So they offer nothing and expect everything. They're useless within the bounds of their own relationships, where the only thing they bring to the table is what's in between their legs, and even that's something that can't be taken on a whim, and even then, the value of that fades over time, which means that eventually the popularity of OnlyFans is going to soon die out too. What doesn't help, and what often isn't discussed enough, is that women take an emotional toll. Here we go. They take an emotional toll on men. Look, Miss Mrs. Germain, good evening to you, ma'am. Thanks for joining us. Look, men are simple creatures who tend to know what we want and when we want it. We don't lend too much time to analyzing our emotions. Y'all excuse the background that I got my little niece back there. She's hungry or something. To excuse her, but she's all right. She's not being abused. I ain't letting that happen. No, she's around family that cares about her. We're more likely to spend time thinking about how fast a gerbil could run if we gave it horses than trying to connect with ourselves on an emotional level. We don't really have that need. Hell, if we need to, we can hop into our mind's nothing box and give it all a break. All right, I'll say again. We're simple creatures, ladies. We know what we want when we want it. We don't take so much time analyzing our emotions. Y'all do. And y'all really don't, and I'm not saying all again before y'all, I know some of y'all getting her, but you know, women collectively, you take an emotional toll on men. That's another reason why men are walking away from you, don't want to be bothered with you. Period. Look, just like we as men, right? We tend to think more. Y'all can't do that. Look, here is one of the designs of the female's brain. Listen good. The ladies have trouble having a thought without attaching your emotions to it. You're more likely, ladies, to feel your thoughts than we are. And what's more, you are more likely to be expressive about it in a relationship. Look, I know for a fact that women want us men to express the emotions to their male partners, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, though. There's no crime. But expressing feelings, positive and negative, in a trusting, steady environment is good communication. And yes, it's healthy. And yes, folks, there is a but, because there is a hitch. What's that hitch? In today's society, emotion is increasingly valued over logical, persistent thinking. In today's society, emotion is increasingly valued over logistical thinking. Especially for women, the pitfalls are numerous. Here's why. Emotion is valued over thinking. Because, in quotes, your truth is pushed over the truth. I'm going to say that again. Your truth, in quotes, is pushed over the truth, i.e., the reality. There's three sides: his side, her side, and the truth. And your truth is pushed over what's reality, which is the truth. Girls are more likely to get a lesson on how to deal with and express emotion from popularly unstable figures like Taylor Swift than they are from people who actually deal in this subject like Jordan Peterson. On top of that, you live in a society where the emotions and feelings of men are devalued to the point of ridicule. So if you see a man walking around here all emotionless, guess what? This society has taught men to be emotionless. And I will say again, because I believe that I have a couple of feminists that's on my page. I don't think they're listening to me right now, but they have heard my podcast before. And I'm going to say this to them. You feminists, sip of water. You feminists need to understand you cannot have your cake and eat it too. You have all these ridiculous, unrealistic expectations on a man, and yet when we walk away from you, you get mad. But the way I got to figure, that's your fault. You listen, either you push men away from relationships altogether, right? Or you push men away and into the arms and in between the legs of another woman. And Brother Joel, God, Brother Joel on the Facebook side says, quote, feed us, freak us, need us, and don't nag us. Hashtag perfect wife. Oh, Lord. Let me see. Let me get back to the YouTube side. Brother Dub says on the YouTube side, quote, I believe it. I frequent New York. I'm from Oakland, living in Seattle now. Same thing here on the West Coast. Homeless camps everywhere, mostly black folks. See? See? And see, the homeless community here in New York, bro, it's consistent of blacks, Latinos, Puerto Ricans. I don't think I don't think you have too many Asians. You have maybe one or two. But here in New York, it's really diverse. You know, the homeless community here is very, very diverse. Um, I mean, it's so bad, man. Me going to my two jobs, man. I'm seeing homeless people literally sleep on the car of these trains, man. And if they're not sleeping on the floor of these trains, man, they're sleeping on the seats of these train cars, man. So and I believe, man, it's happening everywhere, man. It's not just here on the East Coast. It's happening on the West Coast. It's happening everywhere, man. And it's really a sad state of affairs, bro. It really is. It really, really is. Let's see, Brother Dub. He continues, OnlyFans is changing their business practices. They're getting rid of porn. I heard that OnlyFans was doing something. I didn't know all of these specifics, and I still don't know all of these specifics. But here's my thing. And I'm going to throw this out here for free. The reason why all of these women that's on OnlyFans is as rich as they are is because of simps. AKA, i.e., kleptogamists. The simps are not pimps. These simps think they're pimps. Ridiculous. But that's what's going on. And that's what continues to go on. It's unfortunate, but this is what's happening. Let's see. J. Cole says, women want to stay single because OnlyFans saved them. Now OnlyFans is doing away with any porn footage. Now these women will be scrambling to find a high-value man. He continues. These women listen to celebrity relationship gurus and scam them out of their money when these gurus don't even have their relationships together. Ooh. Ooh. Well said, bruh. Well said. J. Cole is spot on. Let's see. We have another viewer that just joined us on the YouTube side. Good evening to you, whoever you are. Thanks for joining us. Let me get back to the Facebook side. Brother Barron says, any sexual entertainment on the credit card companies are not following money transfers in many states. Here we go. Here we go. I'll read it again. Any sexual entertainment, the credit card companies are not allowing money transfers in many states. Well, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. Let me get back to this article here. I'm going to read it again. In today's society, emotion is increasingly valued over logistical thinking, especially for women. The pitfalls are numerous. Your truth is pushed over the truth. Girls are more likely to get a lesson on how to deal with and express emotion from popularly unstable figures like Taylor Swift than they are from people who actually deal in this subject like Jordan Peterson. On top of that, they live in a society where the emotions and feelings of men are devalued to a point of ridicule. In fact, this problem has gotten so bad that men's suicide rates have steadily risen over the course of the past decade and now make up 3/4 of all suicides that happen. 3/4 of all suicides that happens. Brother Joel, you jumped on the YouTube side. I see it, big bro. Yeah. 3/4, folks, of all suicides In the past decade, men's suicide rates have steadily risen over the course of the past decade and now make up 3/4 of all suicides that happen. And along the lines of never learning how to treat a man, women are never taught how to value a man's emotions unless they pertain positively to her. He must prove every day how much he values her for just existing. She expects this, but is taught by our society to not reciprocate unless he earns it. That's another reason why men don't want to be bothered with women. This is the reason why. Look, we men collectively, we are feeling this weight. And the thing that will give us, all of us, strength is withheld. Because collectively, men suffer attempting to emotionally support the partner who has no interest in uplifting him in return. Therefore, it's a lonely existence in a relationship for two, making it in truth a relationship for one. And that one is the woman. What makes matters worse is that women are confused by their men's lack of emotions. They were never taught how we think, much less appreciate it. And I'm going to throw this out here too. That's why a lot of women hate intelligent men. A lot of women hate and despise intelligent men. That's the truth. That is the truth. Women hate intelligent men. And the reason why they hate intelligent men is because they know intelligent men cannot and will not be manipulated. And that's the truth. We are hated. We are despised. Look, we're public enemy number one. Any intelligent man, any man of substance, of any value and respect, we're hated. Plain and simple. We're hated, we're despised, etc. And it's always been like that. It's the truth. It's the truth. See? Now, let me throw this out here too, and I'm getting ready to wrap up. I'm almost finished reading this article. Let me go ahead and finish reading this article, and I'm gonna throw in some more observations. Let's see. Now, let's say you're a young man entering into the stage of your life, right, where dating to marry becomes typical. Looking at your prospects for marriage, you see career-oriented women, some of whom make more money than you do, and you are very proud of this fact. Many of them display a complete lack of interest, if not a downright revulsion to what is considered traditional gender roles. Many of them have no idea how to cook, some hardly clean, and their options on any given subject seem more trendy than well thought out. They seem shallow as a result. You see, these women in your dating pool consistently exhibit opinions about your sex about your sex that are less than kind on social media. Women in your dating pool, if you're looking, of course. Consistently exhibit opinions about your sex that are less than kind on social media. Daniel P, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. I appreciate that. Good to have you with us. Brother Barron says, one of my bosses have concerns on the male's emotional needs. That's a rarity. That's extremely rare. Excuse me. That's extremely rare. That is extremely rare. On the YouTube side, Brother Joel says, preach. They're intimidated by intelligent men. Yeah, they are. They hate us, man. They hate us. He continues, facts on top of facts. The weight of the world is on our shoulders. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me continue on reading this article. I'm almost finished. They're taught that they're taught they're our intellectual superiors. They're taught they're your intellectual superiors, brothers. That they're right in any given argument, no matter what. And that what makes them happy is being given things and they believe it. Very rarely do they display any joy in being given or service to their men. Even more rare are displays of humility. It reeks of narcissism. Here's something else that people don't want to talk about. Y'all, the toxic women ain't gonna like, but here it is. You see your friends get into relationships with these women, and some of your friends disappear entirely as the woman forces these men to break contact with their previous relationships. Some of them constantly report stress and or empty wallets. Some of them report emotional abuse and sometimes even physical, as their women lack the tools to handle their own emotions. You see a lot of things, but what you see mostly is misery. Now, let me pause right here one or two more times, and I'm going to say this. This is one of the reasons why the percentage of women being killed in these relationships is escalating also. When a man has reached his breaking point, and then this woman has the nerve and the audacity to lay hands on that dude, in times like these, more and more women are getting ready to push up daisies. They're getting ready to be deep sixed. They're going to be deep sixed. I don't condone murder by any stretch of the imagination. That's the truth. That's the God honest truth. All right. Now, here's more. This is all capped off by the fact that some of you probably saw your own parents divorce. Their relationship didn't last. Maybe your friend's parents' relationship didn't last. So why should you have any hope? All in all, marriage now seems like a time-consuming, stressful, and expensive venture that has no benefit for you. And a lot of men feel this way. Oh, but what about sex? Well, there's an app for that. Another byproduct of modernism or modernity is the widespread feminist ideal of sexual liberation. Sexual liberation, quotes, in sexual liberation. Which in truth actually made the sexual value of women decrease by leaps and bounds. Here's the idea. If a girl won't give it up, then if girl A won't give it up, then girl B probably will. And technology has made finding her easy. And all of this, folks, is the perfect recipe for bachelorhood. I mean, a man can avoid marriage. He can keep his money, save himself the stress, have more time to accomplish goals, and avoid involving himself rather in the crushing weight of emotional slavery. And they are escaping marriage or weddings, which is funerals with cake. The solution to the problem is easier said than done. We'll need a complete societal rework of how women and men are raised, as well as portrayed. Men are not only need to be taught how to treat a woman, but how to be treated and what to expect in order to achieve a solid, stable relationship. Women, likewise, should be taught how to treat a man as well as what to be expected. In closing, we also need to leave behind the idea that men and women are the same. We're not. Everything from our brain functions to our bodies is built differently. More accurately, we're built for different tasks. From the way we process information to the way we interact with the physical world, we are two totally different entities that belong to the same species. We should be taught to be mutually beneficial to one another in our own capacities as men and women, not fall prey to these modern ideals. Women shouldn't be taught that in order to be happy, they must be childless, go-getting ball busters, and not waste their life and potential on marriage and children, where they become subservient to men. It's a narrative that sells well in your youth, but eventually breaks down quickly as women get older, desire children, and wish to leave the workplace to do it. Ladies, listen good. We men want to feel welcome in our relationships. Right now, collectively, we are not. Men collectively feel like they are passengers, or maybe even more accurately, chauffeurs. If women want to marry them, then women will have to become marriage material, and that means leaving behind the mainstream pop philosophy and looking into the idea that maybe the feminists were wrong. So very, very wrong. The article was by, once again, Mr. Brandon Morse. And that's what's going on. Let's see. Um, Greetings again, Brother Daniel P. He continues, learning how to get up during a split is coming along. Oh. Learning how to get up during a split is coming along. He's going to be a James Brown sex machine. Let's see. Daniel P says, and continues. He says, a man has two options when he's fed of what's given to him. A problem. Option one, he leaves the problem to find peace. Option two, he'll eliminate the problem to take his peace. Well said. Well said. J. Cole says, intelligent men are seen as lame and corny until you see him with a white woman. Then all of a sudden he's taken seriously. Laugh out loud. You said it, brother. Now I know that's sick and twisted and it's just downright ridiculous, but he ain't lying. He ain't lying. He's telling the truth. He is telling the truth. All right. Let's see. Now, this is what I'm going to do. If you all have any more questions or comments or concerns, you can call my inbox. You can call me on Messenger because my hotline is not working again. So you can use my Messenger to call. All right. And we're getting ready to wrap things up. I know it was a lot. We covered a lot of ground today. And but it was necessary. This was necessary. We all needed to hear this. The men and the women. We all needed to hear this. So if once again, folks, if you want to chop it up, feel free to call my inbox. Feel free to call my inbox. And that's the truth. See? And see, this is only part one of the decline of marriages and relationships. This is only part one. That's the truth. I'm going to say this. And I'm getting ready to close it out for the day. And what I'll do is I'm going to I'm going to say this. Let me collect my thoughts. For quite a long time, we have seen and we have been hearing about the majority of women, because that's really who's pushing for marriage and relationships and all this kind of thing. And as I have said at the genesis or the beginning of this podcast, I've said that there are still a lot of men and a lot of women who still believes in the institution of marriage. However, It is the people that they do not believe in. They don't believe in. They don't believe it. The man don't believe in the woman. The woman don't believe in the man. So here we are. And I'll also throw this out here too, from a spiritual basis. They're always talking about they want to get married. But you have to ask yourself this question. Am I marriage material, number one, or am I just a placeholder? You know, a showpiece, just for show. And why do I want to get married? Do I want to get married to continue a dynasty, a legacy? Or do I want that person's resources? This is also something you have to think about as well. You understand? And then if you are a believer in prayer and meditation, ask the Most High to prepare you to become a wife and to prepare to be a husband. You understand? And until that happens, guess what? Your prayers are not going to be answered. It's been said that a woman is going to die alone. I don't believe a woman is going to die alone, because there's going to be a lot of women that knows in their heart of hearts they may not ever get married, and they may not ever get the man that they want to marry them or to be with them, but they're going to have to settle for second chair. And normally the dude that second chair is indeed going to be a simp, a kleptogamist who possesses a predatory trait to do and say anything to appease a woman in hopes that he will have sex with her. See? And unfortunately, guess what? Until it starts to sink in and they start to accept the reality, guess what? The decline of marriages and relationships will continue to decline. It's going to deteriorate. It's going to rot. It's going to decay. It's true. It's not good for man to be alone. That's true. But the scripture also says in a nutshell that it's better for a man to be alone than to be with a woman that nags all the time. One side blaming the other, the man blaming the woman blaming the man. No. If you want this thing to work, it's going to take the Most High and both the man and the woman. And it don't matter if you're a Christian, Jew, Muslim. If you want a healthy and successful marriage, a strong relationship and marriage, you're going to have to do the work. And you're going to have to improve on your character flaws. You're going to have to. You're going to have to. Plain and simple. You're going to have to. Let's see. Brother Dub on the YouTube side says, women will value intelligence, scholarship, and wisdom, and a man during the post-war era, i.e. 35 years and older. You're absolutely right, bro. You're absolutely right. And then by that time it happens, for many, it's going to be too late. Be too late. I close with this. There are still a lot of good women in the world, just like there's still a lot of good men in the world. The problem is a lot of men and a lot of women are not as good as they think they are. And a lot of men and a lot of women are nothing more than just placeholders. You're just trophy pieces. You're not seen as human. You're just good for a good fix. A lot of men and a lot of women are just beautiful and handsome trophy placeholders. That's all. It's all about character, folks. Nadia, if you're still on, this is for you. 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, I will hear from heaven, and I will heal their land. Isaiah 45:22. Look unto me, saith the Most High, and be ye saved. Romans 10:9 says, if thou wilt believe in thine heart and confess with thy mouth, the man commonly called Jesus the Christ, aka Yeshua Yahamashai HaMashiach, thou shalt be saved. That's an appeal to get to know the Most High for yourself. Now, the knowledge of self, you man, you woman, you brother, you sister, Genesis 2:7, and the Most High formed man from the dust of the ground and blew into his nostrils the breath of life. Psalm 82:6 says, ye are gods, ye are children of the Most High God. Psalm 139 verse 14, for ye are fearfully and wonderfully made. Here's more. 1 Peter 2:9, ye are a holy nation, a royal priesthood, a peculiar people. That's you. And finally, 2 Corinthians 6:14-17, come ye out from amongst them, and be ye separate. Meaning, get away from all this feminist nonsense. I'll say again, too. Feminism has both exposed, explained, and also destroyed. Exposed and explained and destroyed a lot of women. It explained and exposed the toxic ones, but it has also destroyed the good women that was influenced by this toxicity. See? They don't want to talk about that. But I talked about it today. And with that said, folks, ladies and gents, I rest my case. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening to me on both the Facebook side and the YouTube side. I've had a ball as always, but the clock on the wall says it's time to go. This concludes part 1. Join me next time for part 2 of the decline of marriages and relationships. Part 2. We're going to delve a little bit more deeper into this subject. I am your man, Joseph Isaiah Benjamin. That has been my 2 cents. Until next time, peace, power, and blessings be upon you. Catch you on the flip side. Donate to the cause. My Cash App It's dollar sign hidden one truth. That's once again, that's dollar sign hidden one truth. Thank you for listening to me, to my brothers and my sisters on both Facebook and YouTube. Catch y'all on the flip side. Have a good one. Peace. I'm out.
What's been shaking up and down the